The contents of this show are intended for news and educational purposes only. Any products or services presented should not be construed as an endorsement by this station or Tracey Communications. All trademarks and trade names are the individual properties of their respective owners. Welcome to Brandworth TV, America's premier show, dedicated to helping businesses grow their brands. A showcase of successful businesses and their leaders, advertising news, tips of the trade, and thought-provoking and entertaining ads. Brandworth TV is brought to you by American Flatbread Frozen Pizza, Fratello's Italian Grill and Homestead Restaurants. Also by Pele, New Hampshire Center for Laser and Medical Aesthetics. Here's our host, Kevin Tracey.
Welcome to the show. If you're interested in business, advertising, marketing, and growing your brand, then you're absolutely in the right place. Today's show is going to feature one of the fastest growing New England companies in the frozen and ready-made pizza business, Rustic Crust and American Flatbread Frozen Pizza. And we're going to have in our second segment a family-owned business called Fratello's Italian Grill and Homestead Restaurants. We'll also have some great TV ads, guerrilla marketing tips, and news from the advertising and marketing world. You know, sometimes I see ads and I say, I wish I had thought of that. Well, Peters of Nashua Auto Dealerships have aired a few ads that I think are real good. These ads get the point across with great humor, but not at the expense of clear messaging. How many times have you watched a funny ad and later said, who was that for? Well, watching these ads makes it clear that you don't have to negotiate at Peters. The first ads in the series were great. I only wish their follow-through was better. Here's one of the good ones.
Honey, the guys are having a golf weekend, and I am going.
No.
Okay.
Not a good negotiator? At Peters Kia of Nashua, you don't have to be, because at Peters Kia, you'll always get their best price the first time on all your favorites, including over $3,500 off Kia Optima LX. Now, just $19,201. See how much you'll save at Peters Kia of Nashua, home of the complimentary lifetime powertrain warranty. Online at peterskia.com.
Good job, Peters. While I'm talking about auto dealerships, I want to vent for a second. I am so sick and tired of seeing New England-based dealerships putting dogs in their ads, probably because their agency has convinced them that it'll bring attention because everybody loves pets and children, right? Well, have you seen the one that ends with a dog stamp of approval or the dog barking at the end? Can someone tell me how that sells cars? We'll be right back with our first business feature, but first let's look at this TV ad for Evian called My Baby and Me. It was created by BETC in Paris. As I said, many advertising counselors recommend putting babies or pets in ads to get attention, but it doesn't necessarily bring sales. Ad Age reports that the company has lost sales since using these ads. The company is now going back to more brand-focused advertising. So the moral to this story, putting kids in your ads doesn't necessarily guarantee success, but it is fun to watch. Watch this.
Here come the stepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Big up the crew in the area. Still love you like that. No, we don't die. Yes, we multiply. Anyone press me, the fire they sing. Act like you know, we go. I know what both don't know. Touch them up and go. Oh, this is changing. Here come the stepper. I'm the lyrical gangster. Big up the crew in the area. Excuse me, Mr. Officer.
We take earth and fire and water and sky and a little bit of sunshine too. We put the staff of life with savory surprise and make it flat out good for you. We make fun food nutritious, American flatbread, and good food delicious, American flatbread, honestly delicious, American flatbread.
Go to AFB
TVCoupons.com for $2 off. Palais, New Hampshire Center for Laser and Medical Aesthetics. Our state-of-the-art laser and light-based treatments. Beauty solutions using injectables such as Botox and dermal fillers. And aesthetic treatments to enhance your skin and maintain a healthy, glowing complexion are now here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Are you ready for flawless skin? Then call our medical professionals at Palais, New Hampshire Center for Laser and Medical Aesthetics, 603-627-7000.
Welcome back. We're in beautiful Pittsfield, New Hampshire, and we're in a warehouse, and I'm about to interview a guy that is becoming more famous every single day. He's in the pizza business. His name is Brad Sturl, and he is the CEO and founder and president of Rustic Crust and American Flatbread Pizza. Brad, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
We go way back.
It's been a long time.
Tell me about Rustic Crust. It's a shelf-stable pizza crust, right? That you can buy. And where do you find it in the store?
You know, you're going to find it in the grocery stores, depending on the chain. You could find it in the bakery area. You could find it in the conventional grocery, kind of near the pasta sauce. Could be in the deli, but predominantly it's in the pasta sauce aisle.
Can you find it everywhere around the country, or is it just in New Hampshire?
It's sold nationwide. We're in right now in the East Coast. We're probably in every major grocery store on the East Coast. As you go west, you'll find us as far west as Hawaii. You'll find us in the Cayman Islands, in Puerto Rico, in a lot of the resort-type islands.
When you have this pizza crust, my understanding is it has very special packaging because it's shelf-stable and it will last for a long time without being refrigerated.
The idea was to go shelf-stable so that people weren't worried about the item spoiling. We had to do that, again, with no chemicals, no preservatives, and I didn't want to use gas. So we actually developed a specialized packaging material. I worked with companies around the U.S. to develop the package. And then we have a process of how we bake it. And then we put a little freshness packet in it that helps absorb some oxygen and keeps it fresh.
Now, I'm familiar with the Rustic Crust brand because it's a crust, but what you do is you take it home and you make your own pizza the way you want to make it. And I understand you have some videos, web videos with recipes, and can you tell me a little bit about that part of what you do? Yeah,
we've had a lot of people ask about when we do a lot of demonstrations around. So a lot of people always have, how do you make the pizza? And it sounds simple, but a lot of people sometimes want to really see how you do it. So we did a series called What's Cooking videos. You can go to YouTube and look up What's Cooking Rustic Crust. You can also find them on our website. But the idea of these videos was really to give simple instructions of how to use the product differently. We have a barbecue series. We have clam chowder pizza.
Clam chowder pizza?
So we've done a lot of different pizzas, but it gives you all the ingredients, how to bake them, how to top it, and how to serve it.
Do you have a favorite pizza that you make?
It's funny. I have a pizza that's always been my favorite. It's our taco pizza. It looks great, and I love Mexican food, so it just kind of fits what I love. It's probably then our lobster pizza is probably my second favorite because I love seafood, but the two of those are probably right up there.
That's great. So everybody, you can go to YouTube, Rustic Crust, What's Cooking, and you have the taco pizza on there?
We have the taco pizza, clam chowder, lobster, you name it. I think it's about 15 different videos we have right now.
Let's go to the American Flatbread frozen pizza side. Now that is, you didn't start with that.
No, we didn't.
Tell me about it.
We acquired the brand in 2010, and a friend of mine, George Shank from Waitsfield, Vermont, was the founder of American Flatbread, and they had made the product in the restaurants. It was a very similar story to how we started Rustic Crust. And a lot of the process was very similar because at Rustic Crust we age our doughs, we use natural organic ingredients, and we took over the brand in 2010, and we actually invested in the wood-fired ovens because the American Flatbread is a handmade, hand-topped, then baked in a wood-fired oven. And to our knowledge, we actually have the only wood-fired production line that's out in the U.S. So we custom built this line just to make the American Flatbread products.
You even have a wood-fired oven on the back of a truck, right?
Right.
Obviously you do marketing, and you do various types of marketing. Now, the audience that watches this show are usually business people, or people who are interested in advertising, marketing, and entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur. You speak on entrepreneurial activities. And can you go briefly tell me some of the ways that you are marketing your products?
Gosh, we've done a lot of different. We have a team. Probably one of the most important things that we've done out in the marketplace is engaged in communities we're in, where you mentioned our wood-fired oven on the truck. So we'll go around, we do a lot of events with this. where we're out sampling at festivals, grocery stores, and just fundraisers. We'll be doing one in South Carolina coming up. So it's a real big vehicle we use to get out there to get in front of the consumers. We have a TV spot that we've done that shows kind of the product a little bit.
That's actually playing right here on BIN.
Yes, it is. We've been with this station for just about a year now, running some TV in the Boston market.
So what other things you do? You have your road shows or your field marketing where the truck comes up and you sample. You do a lot of sampling.
A lot of sampling. We've done coupon inserts in newspapers. We've done mailers. A lot of participation at grocery stores with events that they're doing to really we really try and gauge the consumers. We want people to try it. Whether it's the rustic crust because the idea they can bring it home and have a party with the kids and make this pizza, or the American flatbread where they can take it out of the freezer and 10 minutes later they have a nice hot pizza.
What would you recommend would be the single most effective thing, someone who's a startup and they're trying to get their name out there and get known? What would the single most effective thing that's not going to cost them a fortune? Obviously, they're not going to be able to do a lot of advertising.
The single for us, it was about sampling, getting our product in people's mouths. For a food product, that's what it's about. So as you're growing small, I mean, I watch people all over the country, and I have people continue to call me as we've evolved. But it's about trial. It's about getting consumers to try it. You go to sell it to a grocery chain. The people that leave the product and walk away are the ones that don't get the business. The people that go in and feed the buyer a pizza or a cookie or whatever it might be. If it tastes good, you can get the business. If it doesn't taste good, well, it can work against you.
Well, that sounds good. This has been very informative, and I appreciate you taking the time to sit with me and share your story with our viewers. And I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
We're going to be right back with more Brandworth right after this.
I'm in the mood for conversation. I'm in the mood for dinner and friends. A little laughter and libation. Relaxation, celebration.
Are you in the mood for amazing Italian food in a beautifully restored historic place? In the mood for a banquet for 200? In the mood for happy hour, Monday to Friday, 4 to 6? Then you're in the mood for Fratello's.
Yeah, I'm in the mood for Fratello's.
Have you been wondering what's hot and what's not in advertising, marketing, and public relations? With the news you can use, here's Kevin Tracey.
Did you ever see someone who had something stuck in their teeth and you were just too embarrassed to tell them? Well, now you can tweet them via Colgate using a brand app called Something in Your Tweet service. It was created to promote their new Slim Soft toothbrush. You can send an anonymous tweet to any Twitter user about the stray food. You can even select what's stuck in their teeth from a variety of options like popcorn, spinach, meat, and many other pieces of gross junk. A survey was conducted by the brand that shows that people would really want to know. Go to www.colgateslimsoft.ca because it was originated in Canada. Oh, someone's giving me a tweet. Want to be a network news videographer? Well, Media Post reported today that NBC News has bought StringWire, a mobile video sharing startup. StringWire was founded to supply news organizations with immediate video content from thousands of smartphone verified contributors. Expect to see something in about a year. JCPenney scuttles logo that was introduced by their former CEO. It is 2013, and they had a new logo in 2011, another one in 2012 that was created by a third-year student at the University of Cincinnati, and now they have a new one. I think they're committing brandicide. They don't know what they want, and I think it's a huge mistake. Burger King has changed its name to Fries King. Well, not really. It was a publicity stunt at some stores in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Miami to promote their new Satis fries. The new fries have 30% less fat and 20% fewer calories than their regular fries. Advertising agencies donate a lot of time and effort to nonprofits. In fact, some of the most impactful and award-winning messaging is for charities. It is my experience that nonprofits are so grateful that agencies are donating their work for free that they give the agencies the freedom to do amazing work. The following public service announcement is one of the best I've ever seen. It is based on a true story, and it's very emotional stuff.
some more to eat.
Come on, just one bite.
I don't like it.
At Hampstead Hospital, we are committed to providing our patients and families effective treatment in a caring environment. Our highly skilled and experienced staff assesses patients' unique treatment needs. We are dedicated to listening to patients and their families. Our programs include child, adolescent, and adult psychiatric services, drug and alcohol treatment, and programs for developmental disorders. Learn more by visiting hampsteadhospital.com.
So relaxing, so inviting, just like home but more exciting. Where you wanna go, where you wanna go. The Homestead Restaurant, where you wanna go.
Welcome to Homestead Restaurant. Enjoy fabulous food, cocktails, and fireside dining in a truly authentic country home setting. Happy hour Monday through Thursday, 4 to 6.
The Homestead Restaurant, where you wanna go.
Here's Kevin with this week's Guerrilla Marketing Tips.
This week's guerrilla marketing tip is to market always and always. The major investment in guerrilla marketing involves time, energy, and creativity rather than money and expensive marketing budgets. Market your business all the time and in as many ways as you possibly can. Hand out business cards to everyone. Have a short, what I call elevator speech, a brief statement about your business and what makes it different from the competition. Use your publicity contacts. Write articles, submit letters to the editor, participate in online forums, host events, and use social media. Remember, don't try and sell your product, but give valuable information to readers. Then get reprints, post them on your website, and add them to your sales kit. We'll be right back, but first I want to take a look at one of my favorite commercials of all time. It was first aired on the Super Bowl in 2010, and it's called The Swear Jar. This is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen.
What's that?
That's a swear jar. Every time someone swears, you put a quarter in it.
Who gets the money?
I don't know. We'll use it to buy something for the office, like a case of Bud Light or something.
Fucking awesome. You, Bob. You, Jim.
Eric, I have a bag in line 3 for you.
Can I borrow your pen? Can I borrow your f***ing pen?
Will the owner of a white station wagon please go f yourself?
We're gonna go down there and we're gonna f some ass. We're gonna f some we're gonna some
poop.
Doesn't count.
Shut the up!
I am so proud of you mother suckers. Here, here.
I'm Becky Anderson and I'm from Dover, New Hampshire. When we found out I was having triplets, I knew I'd be in good hands with Wentworth Douglas Hospital. They helped me through the pregnancy, they helped me through the delivery. They had a team of about 18 people in the delivery room and they made me feel very welcomed and very cared for. We have 6 kids, so any outing takes a lot of teamwork. We have a great system. Everybody knows what they need to do and where to pitch in. I'm lucky to have 2 great teams, my family and my hospital.
Welcome back. Today we have Mike, Chris, and Mark McDonough, who are owners of Fratello's Italian Grill and also Homestead Restaurants. Welcome, guys.
Good to be here. Thank you.
How you doing?
Great. Great.
You're a family business. You're brothers. How did you get into the restaurant business to begin with?
Well, we grew up in the business. Our mom and dad moved from Massachusetts to the Lakes region in the early 70s and started with a small mom and pop breakfast restaurant. And we've grown from there. Went to an inn at Newfound Lake, an Italian restaurant in downtown Bristol, New Hampshire, and eventually to the Homestead in Bristol, which was opened in 1978.
So, as owners of a family business, you said you started in this business because your parents were involved in the restaurant business. When did you actually get involved in the business?
Whether we liked it or not, at a very young age, we all washed dishes, we all bussed tables, we did everything. And we did it out of necessity, and I can remember, you growing up, you'd come home. We were in high school, we used to live upstairs above the restaurant. That was our home. It was an unusual way to be brought up, but our folks worked really hard.
Which town was that in?
We're up in Bristol, by Newfound Lake. And so they'd work all day in the kitchen, go up, shower, change, come back down. My dad would bartend, my mom would either cook or be out on the host desk. And So we'd come home from school, do a quick change to go out and meet up with your friends, and hey, just go out there and bust a few tables for us, my dad would say. Take you 10 minutes was his famous line. And before we knew it, we were shutting the place down because they needed an extra hand.
I mean, I think my brothers and I all have an amazing work ethic because of our parents. And, you know, we missed a lot of proms, we missed a lot of dances, we missed a lot of activities that normal high school kids attend. I worked myself through college. Being the oldest brother, my folks couldn't afford to send us to school. And I worked 2 different jobs at UNH and came back on weekends to work just to be able to pay the tuition bills.
Now, your brothers, who's the boss?
We're all the boss.
How can you all be the boss? How do you ever have any disagreements on what
Never. We've never disagreed on a thing. It's amazing. This chemistry is amazing.
Yeah, we disagree almost every day on certain issues, and we've adopted a philosophy that if 2 of the brothers think that it's the best decision to do a certain project or make a certain decision, the other brother usually comes along for the ride. Sometimes not easily, but that's typically how we run those decisions.
Now, McDonough, that sounds like an Irish or Scottish name, is it?
It's an Irish name.
It's an Irish name, so how come Italian restaurant?
What happened, we had a couple of homestead restaurants. So we had one in Londonderry at the time and the original one up in Bristol. And we went to an auction and bought this old bank in Laconia. And we didn't really have a game plan for the building at the time. So we started to go on a quest of use for this building and went down to Boston where they had these open kitchen concepts, which this was back in the early 90s. It was a new thing, and there was nothing like that at the time in New Hampshire. We just decided that would be a great theme. We didn't want to take away from the traffic that we were getting from the Lakes region area coming over to Bristol, so we needed a different theme.
So that's one of your restaurants. You also have the homestead restaurants, and what's different between the homestead restaurants and the Fratello's restaurant?
I think mainly the feel. I mean, the Fratello's buildings are these brick buildings, mill buildings in the bank in Laconia. And the homesteads are in these old New England farmhouses, smaller rooms. And the one that we have down in Merrimack, we actually converted the barn upstairs. We made it the bar. And it's this rustic, tavern feel to it with overstuffed furniture and entertainment every night. And the menu differs as well, but definitely the feel and the ambiance and the 2 themes are very different.
When you first opened here, and maybe even as you continue down this road, what kind of things do you do to get the word out and to market yourself?
I want to speak to this, the Manchester location specifically. This particular property was on the radar because it was one of the first projects in Manchester that was a mixed-use renovation. And there was a lot of talk, there were a lot of pieces in the Manchester Union Leader about us opening. So when we opened this location, a lot of folks were very curious about what was going on. It's a huge curiosity factor. So when we opened the doors, we were extremely busy. And we were actually pulling people from all the other locations to come and help us get through some of those busy nights when we first opened.
For the sake of disclosure, I'm a huge fan, and I'm one of the people that come here frequently. And you have sort of a frequent flyer program or a frequent guest program that is really interesting. And when I signed up many years ago, I thought, well, this is really nice. Can you tell me about that program that you have?
Chris put together a nice program in conjunction with our computer system that makes it seamless for the customers to come, get a visit, accumulate points and dollar values that they can come back and redeem later and for future visits.
It's certainly not unique to us, but it is something that works well for us because we really rely on that regular customer, and I think it's a way for us to give back to them.
How big of a part of your business is the function, wedding, meeting business?
Probably not as big as we'd like it to be. It's kind of a hidden gem here in the Mill Yard. People walk into this restaurant and you walk into the lobby, the kitchen's in the background, the restaurant, the dining area is off to your right, with the function facilities down the hall to the left, and most people don't know it exists.
It's about 20% of our sales for the Manchester location.
How many people can you accommodate in your banquet facility here in Manchester?
It's 200 comfortable to sit down, but we could do much more when we have hors d'oeuvre type parties where it's more of a milling around atmosphere versus a sit-down meal.
If I was to ask you, what really is the singular distinction of your restaurants? What is it that you can't get somewhere else?
Part of it is the facilities, like we talked a little bit about that, the historic nature of the mill and the bank buildings, the old farmhouses, that atmosphere, that's difficult to build out of the ground and duplicate for a chain, for instance, that might be in your market. Secondly, is we talked about the staff and those managers that have been with us for 20 years that are greeting you when you walk in. That's another thing that's very difficult for chain restaurants and competitors to duplicate.
It makes us really proud at our annual company Christmas party when we can pass out 15 and 20-year pins to servers, bartenders, managers that have been with our company for a long time. We have a strong philosophy of promoting from within, and general managers at our locations oftentimes started in the dish room or bussing tables, or they were bartenders, and we work with them and build a business through them.
Well, I think this has been interesting. It's been informative. I wish you the best. I think that obviously I'm a huge fan of what you're doing, and I wish you continued success. So Mike, Chris, and Mark, thank you very much for joining me, and I'll be seeing you at the bar occasionally.
Look forward to it.
Thanks for having us, Kevin.
We'll be right back after this message.
Yeah, I'm in the mood for Fratellos.
What does it take to have extraordinary advertising? It takes creativity. It takes experience. It takes empathy. It takes vision. It takes imagination. It takes a God-given sense of knowing the difference between what's good and what's great, and never settling for good. It takes innovation, but most of all, it takes courage. Tracey Communications, creating engaging, branded, award-winning content for all types of media. TraceyCommunications.com.
And now back to our host, Kevin Tracey.
That does it for this week's Brandworth. We hope that you found something in today's show that'll help you build your brand. Having you involved is important to us, so if you have an idea, a guest, a topic, or a comment on the show, please let us know by visiting our website, brandworth.tv. Tweet us at BrandworthTV or visit us on Facebook. I'm Kevin Tracey, and remember, everything you do can make people feel better about your brand, differently about your brand, or worse about your brand. Have a great week.